This is Lon Winters with Graphic Elephants.
This is Jimmy Lamp.
This is Matt Vassallo with the RhinestoneWorld.com.
And you're listening to the Two Regular Guys podcast.
And you are listening to the Two Regular Guys podcast.
Hosted by...
My name is Terry Combs, RG, regular guy.
And Aaron Montgomery.
We're just regular guys having fun and trying to make a living in this really cool and exciting industry.
I think we all want to succeed 100% of the time.
Seek to understand before I try and make myself understood.
Bring a ton of great information.
Coming to you live from somewhere dark, dirty, and dank.
All right, welcome into the show. Today is Friday, July 15th. Wow, I'm way off. Today is Friday, July 15th. My name is Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me over at oursuccessgroup.com. As you can tell, I'm rolling solo for right now, but that's not going to be a problem here in just a moment. But Terry is out at the Graphics Pro Expo out in New Jersey today, Meadowlands area. And so I will be kind of hosting here, and honestly, we're not here for Terry or I. We are here for the amazing women in garment decorating that we've got lined up for you today. We've got Jessica Tillery and Brandi Shiber, and we're going to be discussing their work that they do in their communities through their businesses, and just how they juggle it all too. You're going to be just blown away by the things that these two amazing young women do, and how they manage it all. And so you're going to take a ton of great golden nuggets away from them today to aspire to. I know I aspire to get to what they're doing. So that's what's happening today. I'm going to get into that as quickly as possible here, and because that's what we're here for. But in trying to come up with some news items for you guys today, I've been working pretty hard on the folks over at Printing United, specifically Josh Carruth, who's kind of in charge of a lot of the apparel and apparel zone there at Printing United Expo coming up in October. And we've had Josh on the show, and you've seen it before. We've worked on him before, and he's a pretty tough nut to crack. So I'm going to just have to get him on here soon and make him spill some of the beans. But I can say this, as kind of partners, exhibitors there of Printing United, we did get a sneak peek of some things, and I am sworn to secrecy, which just gives me the shivers right now. But I am, and I'm going to be good about it this time. It's going to be pretty cool. So stay tuned. Look for that. And other good things going on. Like I mentioned, Terry's out there at the Graphics Pro Expo, so shows are back happening, and that's an amazing thing. And going from there. So let's check in with the regulators here real quick. And we've got people already tuned in. We appreciate that. We've got Lyndon saying good morning. Happy Educational Friday from North Carolina. We've got Barb tuning in from North Central Minnesota. Happy Friday to everybody, she says. Happy Friday to you, Barb. And Christine, hey guys, happy Toasty Friday. Yeah, even up in northern Michigan there, it's toasty. I know we're kind of getting into the record zone here in St. Louis area as well. Ramona, good morning. Justa from Uppsala, Sweden, thank you so much for tuning in. Good morning to Sheila. We'll get everybody here real quick. Cindy, Frank, sorry, Eric, we'll go fast. Kelly, Chuck, Tina, hello. Thanks for checking in. Todd, thank you. Good morning. Keith, Rich, Todd is out there at ASI and a pretty decent show, he says. Excellent. Christine, Applique Getaway happened last week. And yeah, FOMO for sure. So many great stories and great pictures and stuff out of that. And James and Curtis. All right. I know I didn't get everybody, but we've got people we're going to get to here. So good morning to everybody. Blanket, thank you guys so much for being here. Now, this would not be Two Regular Guys if we didn't have a dad joke. And I'm just going to put this out there right now. This is actually a dad joke from my dad. So I guess it's a double dad joke. So I'm just going to throw that disclaimer out, beware. So here we go. Do you think that corduroy pillowcases will make headlines? Okay, groan, moan, do all those things. All right. Lots of head shaking in the background down there. I appreciate that. All right. Well, here's the deal, guys. Like I said, I want to get right to excuse me, Jennifer and Brandi. And so before we dive in, though, I do want to thank everybody for checking out the Two Regular Guys. Appreciate all you guys tuning in live, and those of you that are listening on the podcast version after the fact. We so appreciate you, the regulators. We are always looking for new guests, by the way. So if anybody you know would like to join us, or maybe you've got an idea for a topic, you can reach out to us and get in contact. But best thing to do is actually go to our Calendly link, which you can find at calendly.com/2. That's the number two regular guys. And with your show ideas there, Eric's got a little short bit.ly link there as well on screen for those of you tuning in live. But we are always looking for new guests to join us. As Tim says, one regular guy today. So, right, let's bring. All right. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you guys before we get to that is, if you are listening into that podcast version of our show, we would really super appreciate you guys sharing the Two Regular Guys with all of your friends, industry friends. You know, we want everybody to be a regulator, right? We want to grow this community, and we would appreciate it if you would give us a review over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Podcasts, or even on Audibles. So anywhere you do your podcast listening, you can find us there. So make sure that you give us a review. That really helps. And then also, if you are tuned in live right now, take a moment and go share this and make sure that you're joining in, you're commenting, and being a part of this conversation. If you got questions for Jennifer and Brandi, we'll get that in front of them as well. So with that being said, I want to just have a quick word from my company, Our Success Group, about the business owner's mindset. So I want to share with you 3 mental states most business owners struggle to master. It's goal setting so that you believe it's possible. It's facing fears to be able to step outside of your comfort zone. And finally, taking action even when you're not sure what action to take. Now, 90% of the challenges business owners have faced have nothing to do with the nuts and bolts of running a business. It's not the accounting, the production, or even the marketing. It is the mindset. Those challenges are nothing to overcome when you are a business owner with the proper mindset. At Our Success Group, we get to support decorators who are overwhelmed. For an investment of only $5, you can check it out for the first 30 days. Just head over to the website below to have more clarity and confidence in your business. All right. Well, I'd appreciate you guys checking that out. If that's something that can help support you and your business, I would love to be part of that. Just head on over to that link that you saw there. All right. Well, we're ready. We got everybody in here. We're excited. We're going to get this rolling here. So help me welcome in, and you can just keep a nice slow clap going the whole time, and that'll bring them in here. But let me introduce to you 2 amazing young women. We've got Jessica Tillery, who is the founder of All Quality Graphics, a custom merchandising company in Northern California. She is also the founder of the Love Unstoppable movement, or LMU. It's a love and faith-based passion project created to make an environmental, humanitarian, spiritual, and charitable impact. Jessica prides herself on stellar company culture and a tight-knit, cohesive team that is fueled by integrity and tenacity and committed to making an impact. Outside of work, her hobbies include traveling, wake surfing, snowboarding, playing soccer, working out, reading, and spending quality time with friends and family, especially her partner and super rad 6-year-old daughter. Her mantra is love God, love people, love life. Love is unstoppable. And so we're going to welcome her in just a moment. And then I also want to introduce you to Brandi Shiber. Brandi was born and raised on a farm and ranch in Kremlin Hillsdale area of Oklahoma. She graduated from Northwestern Oklahoma State University and earned her degree in ag business with a minor in animal science. Brandi returned home to the family farm to raise her 3 girls with husband Russell. Brandi and her husband have a passion for entrepreneurship. They founded Shiber Donuts and Deli in Enid, and operated it for 7 years before selling it to pursue other dreams. During that time, she also owned and founded an insurance agency where she was selling home, auto, commercial life, and crop insurance to really just support her local community. In June of 2018, they purchased Downtown Threads, which is a local embroidery, screen print, and promotional product shop. She has since sold her insurance agency and operates Downtown Threads full time. She and her husband are also part owners of BRCK Land and Cattle, where they run 400 cows and 1,100 yearling steers and heifers. In 2018, Brandi was recognized by Enid Young Professionals as top 40 under 40. Brandi is a current member of Leadership Oklahoma, United Ways of Northwestern Oklahoma Board of Directors, and Enid Noon Ambux, Enid Rotary, RSVP Executive Board, and Chairman of Parish Council at St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church. Brandi enjoys cooking, baking, fishing, and hunting, and going to her girls' activities and entertaining friends. So let's welcome in Jessica and Brandi. Hello, hello. Thank you guys so much for being here. Wow, some amazing bios, and I knew that up front here, but I'm going to start off here. I'm going to ask you to just kind of tell our listeners a little bit more about yourself and really your business, right? What led you to garment decorating? So Jessica, I'm just going to start with you, please.
Sure. And first of all, thanks so much for having us, Aaron. It's truly an honor to be on here. You guys do such a great job. I'm pretty sure we're going to take away the gold nuggets today rather than giving them away, because you guys are just a wealth of knowledge, and I love what you and Terry are doing in the industry. And I'm bummed he's not here today, but happy to be here with you. And again, just thanks for having us. So
yeah, absolutely, Jessica.
A little bit about myself. It's a long story. So to keep it short, let's just say I fell into the industry like most people. I like to say I didn't choose this industry. This industry chose me. I come from the corporate world. I spent a decade doing sports medicine and corporate wellness before falling into this, and just randomly was exposed to it. At the time, I was traveling a ton, and I was frankly just sick of traveling and being in hotels, and I was commuting as well, and had this opportunity arise. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go for it, and kept my corporate job for a full year to make sure this was going to pan out. Unfortunately, it did. After a year, we bought a commercial building, started in a garage, of course, like most people. Bought our first building. 3 years later, we bought another building, which is the current building we're in, which is 10,000 square foot. We run 2 autos. We have a team of 13, so we're small but mighty, very efficient. And like you said in the bio, I really pride myself on a really good culture and a tight-knit team that's like a family. And I think we've definitely achieved that here. And my team is just incredible. I know everybody says I have the best team, but I'm telling you guys, I really do.
You really do. You can prove it. I love it. Awesome.
And like you said, we're out in Sacramento. So if you're ever out in this area, please stop by. And to any other shop owners listening, we love talking shop. We love having tours. So if anybody's in this area, come talk shop with us.
Sweet. All right. Sacramento area. Get on out there. I love that. All right, Brandi. Well, all right. How do you go from donuts and insurance and cattle to what attracted you to the business that you bought?
Well, it came from an entrepreneurial standpoint versus a passion for screen printing. We found this opportunity. A lady came to me that I had met through our tech center. We were taking a business class together as I was learning how to be a business owner because I knew nothing. And she said, hey, I'm trying to sell this business. Well, my husband and I looked at it, and he's like, I don't know anything about screen printing. I don't want any part of it. I said, okay. So a few years later, she approached me again and said, hey, I really want to sell this. She's like, I really think you could grow this business and be really good at it. And I was like, well, okay. We looked at it the 1st of May and signed the papers in June. And so it came from a bottom line type situation versus a passion for screen printing.
Okay.
So, and it's worked out. I mean, I have found my niche in the industry and what I enjoy doing. And I don't know, I think it's working out so far.
Yeah, so. That's awesome. It definitely sounds like that. Well, so Brandi, I'm going to stay with you here for 1 second. Last week, we actually shared a news article that came across our desk about one Mr. Charlie Tablieb and him coming to your shop with a scented T-shirt. It sounded pretty interesting. So could you maybe tell us a little bit more about that shirt and just your time with Charlie? We love Charlie. We've known Charlie for a long time. So give us the inside scoop there.
Well, I have to tell you how I met Charlie, first of all. I went to the Impressions show in Fort Worth. And I took one of his classes. I took my whole staff. We had just gotten a new auto, and our first auto, and it was right before the pandemic. Well, none of us knew how to run it really. And so we all went, we're going to learn from Charlie. We're going to do this. And we'd had several pieces of equipment that went with our auto that we'd never used, like our iron, some of our new flashes. Yeah. Anyway, several things. I can't remember all of them. And I was in his class and he's like, who has an iron? I was like, well, we do. He's like, how do you like it? I said, well, we don't have it set up yet. So that happened several more times of, well, we don't have that set up yet. He's like, time out. He's like, where are you from? And I said, Oklahoma. He's like, really? He goes, I've been to Oklahoma. He said, I went to college there in a little bitty town called Alva. And I said, ride, Rangers, ride, because that's where I went to college. So we had a connection instantly that we both went. He went in the 70s, and obviously that wasn't when I was there. And we just connected. I don't know. And we went to Long Beach. He took me to dinner, and we drank fancy wine and just talked about screen printing and how he would come to Oklahoma and help us with some things we were working on. And he surprised me. There's a big barbecue here that we have every year. It's sponsored by a corporate business. And he's like, I've got an idea. He said, I've got this barbecue scented smell that we can screen print onto the shirts. And then it will last, I think he said 5 or 6 washes, maybe more than that. And then you have the barbecue smell on your shirt. So when and you could do whatever you wanted. Like if you wanted to smell like beer, we had someone that owns a beer distributing company, and they wanted to use it on their shirts and have the beer smell. So just kind of a different fun thing you could add to your shirts. So.
Yeah. And then I heard you blinged it up a little bit too.
Yes, we put rhinestones. He taught me how to do all that.
That's so cool.
He's crazy, but I love him to pieces. He's like having a grandpa mentor.
Totally. Oh, I love Charlie. And it's always funny whenever you follow Charlie, if you're a speaker out there and you're following Charlie's sessions, you always show up early because you know you're gonna have to clean up all of the mess that he's
And I'm the exact same way. I will have ink. I was giving somebody a tour the other day and I had to ink from head to toe. Didn't even screen print.
Yeah, that'll happen. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that story with us. All right. So here's where I want to go next. As we were kind of getting together, we were learning about you guys, and the thing that kind of common theme is I noticed that you're both extremely involved in your local communities, especially with the giving back. So talk to us a little bit about why that's important for you. And Jessica, I'll start with you here. Why is that important for you?
Well, I think just in life in general, giving back is extremely important. We know what it can do for our businesses, and Brandi and I have kind of talked through this of the more you're involved in the community, the more relationships you build, obviously, the more business that's going to bring. So it seems to be a no-brainer that anytime we kind of get out and give back, it comes back to us tenfold, So I can't wait to dive into my passion project. I don't want to jump the gun and speak too soon on that. But for me, really, we have all these resources and we've been given these God-given gifts and talents. And I think it's our duty and our responsibility to give back and to really share those things. So for me, I just feel so blessed to have such an awesome team and awesome resources. And we all know at all our shops, we produce such cool things and we have great things at our fingertips. And so why not give back? That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Having that wow factor and being able to share that with people. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Brandi, what about for you? What kind of drives that side of you?
Well, it's funny because I wrote that exact same thing down. It's a gift to be put in a position where we can help people. I always say it's not what you know, it's who you know. And, and you can connect those dots. I may not be able to help people personally, but I might know somebody that does. And so it's connecting the dots through leadership, through the boards we're on or the organizations we're involved in. And there's such a need, even more so after the pandemic, especially in our area. Mental health is a huge thing for us in our area.
Sure.
And seeing that growth and how we can connect the dots to get people the services they need or, help in any way we can. And I think, like Jessica said, God gave us this gift to be able to talk to people and help people. And that's what we need to do. So.
Yeah. And I love that. I mean, you guys both come at it from that perspective. It's not I'm doing this so I get something back. That potentially could happen, but the way that you guys go about this and share it and whatnot, it totally shows that it's just, it really is altruistic. And I think that's shows that it comes from the heart, and I think that's important. So, okay, well, let's talk about this though. So obviously, you guys do both have for-profit businesses that you're running, and this altruistic side that we just talked about. Talk to me about some of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome. How do you navigate? Not giving it all away. You want to give to everybody, but how do you navigate some of those challenges and that kind of feeling? So, Brandi, I'll start with you.
Well, this is kind of a big thing for me because I'm terrible. I will give my home to somebody, and I'm like, Brandi, you can't do that. I always want to. I had an employee with the family situation this last week. I paid for her all week. She wasn't here, but I knew that she couldn't survive if I didn't help her. And so there's just things like that I kind of get myself in a pickle. And I have to really watch that one because I will give it all away.
Yeah.
So, but my biggest challenge is letting stress get in the way of the big picture and what I'm trying to do. I'm so focused on the nuts and bolts sometimes that I forget what I'm good at. And, people are my thing. And sometimes I just get stuck in the, how are we going to pay for this? Or how are we going to do this? Or how are we going to do that versus the big picture?
Yeah. Definitely. Jessica, what about you? How
I'm in the same boat as Brandi. This is a tough one for me. It's a bit of a weakness because I can be overly generous and a little bit overly empathetic, but I think that's a good thing. And fortunately for me, some of our leadership team here is really good at kind of reeling me in, like, hey, Jess, like, let's use logic over our hearts right now. But really, I think in the grand scheme, it's a good thing. I really struggle when it comes to the passion project side of things, which we'll dive into later. I'm pretty good at keeping the business in line, and I'm all about numbers, but when it comes to the passion project, it's like I really just want to pour into everybody and give so much. And for me, it's about an experience. It's about touching people's lives. So it's always me pushing the limits of say we're giving them this package, which we'll talk about later, but can we get an extra sticker in there? Can we get this in there? Like, oh, this is going to be so good. Such a good message. Like, let's include this, but it all adds up. That's an extra 40-cent sticker or whatever the case is. And it's tough to reel yourself in and say, hey, like we really need to watch our numbers. And in the end, for me, it's about knowing your numbers and knowing how much you can and want to give. So I know that, like you're saying, the altruistic stuff, this is coming from a place of giving. So even if it's coming out of my pocket in the end, I think that's what it's about. You can do what you can, but obviously without being detrimental to your business.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, awesome. And for the regulators here, you guys, if make sure you're paying attention here, because I just took two massive things out of what they both said there. Brandi talking about, the tool of remembering to come back to the big picture, right? And understanding, I almost kind of look at it from a standpoint of you can't give from an empty cup. And that's kind of the big picture when you come back to that. And then what Jessica was sharing also about, surrounding yourself with people that are going to help balance some of that out too. If you recognize that can be a challenge, I think that's important. But when you're coming from a place of giving, I had a mentor at one point tell me that you can't outgive the universe. So it's always been something I've held on to, and you guys clearly are that. So let's real quick hit a couple of comments here from our regulators. Christine Shreve, who helped us start the Women in Garment Decorating quarterly podcast that we get to do. She said, so great to see strong, powerful, knowledgeable women talking about what they do. Agreed. And then she follows that up with, women tend to be such caretakers. We need to be aware of not wanting to take care of everyone else so much that we harm ourselves. The impulse is good. Sometimes the execution needs a bit of work. Very, very good point there too. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, let's keep moving forward on this here then. So we talked about some of the challenges to overcome there. But I also want to talk about, you guys have kind of alluded to this a little bit already, but you're making a lot of connections, right? And the more connections you make with your community, the more your business is going to thrive. Maybe give us, Brandi talked about nuts and bolts earlier, but maybe you guys could give us some maybe nuts and bolts strategies of how other decorators might be able to emulate that kind of thing. So Jessica, would you start us off with that?
I really think it's just getting involved, getting out there, being hands on the ground, boots on the ground, and making relationships, building those relationships. So for us, it's about attending as many events as we can. I hate to keep saying this, but when we dive into the passion project stuff, it's a lot of boots on the ground.
Okay.
Just, I like to say the hands and feet of Jesus, getting out there and doing the work and building relationships and just pouring into people. And then that comes back. You know, you go out, you do an event, and you're there to give back. And you end up getting 5 clients out of it in return, just from word of mouth, just by building a relationship that is going to, you know, give word of mouth of how good you are and what you're doing for the community.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Great tip. Brandi, what about you? What are some bits of advice?
Kind of the same thing. I get asked this a lot. I'm in some smaller groups that, you know, meet once a week that talk about business and screen printing. And, you know, I've told them, I'm like, join Rotary, join Ambucks, join your local, you know, business clubs. You know, those people buy shirts. Those people, you know, need promotional products. These people need what you have and what you're good at. And so that's been the easiest way for me to grow my business.
Nice.
Recently I've started putting together like, what do you call them? Like, promotional boxes.
Okay.
So like I include a shirt, I include, you know, a catalog of all these different things, you know, pens and notebooks, just to show them what we can do.
That's
and
awesome.
if I have their logo, you know, I met with a guy yesterday that we do one of their locations. They have 9 locations. And so I took it to him and it's like, you know, here, we're really good at what we do. Let me help you. And so I'm going to start really doing that this fall. So
awesome. All right. So get boots on the ground, get out there, get involved, just show up. I love it.
Rarely
Awesome.
do I go to anything without coming home with an order.
Well, that's incredible.
Rarely.
That's awesome. All right. All right. Well, that more good advice, you guys, regulators. Make sure you're taking notes. Terry would have his yellow legal pad that he would be feverishly writing on right now. So, all right. Based on all the things I've heard and know about you guys so far, I know you've just given up sleeping altogether. So that's out the window. But here's the other part. You're both moms, right? And I know you probably have 100 other incredible responsibilities that you're juggling. I guess I'd like to understand, how do you do it, right? For us mortals, what's the secret? How do you juggle all of these things, including being moms? Brandi, you and I were talking before the show that you've got 3 girls and they're into everything. And so you're constantly chasing them around, basically. So Brandi, I guess I'll start with you. What's your secret?
Mom guilt. Mom guilt is a real thing.
Okay.
Real thing. And I mean, like this morning, I was ready to choke my kids. They left. I couldn't find my AirPods. So, I mean, it's every day is a challenge, but my girls are getting old enough that, you know, they're getting involved in things. And, you know, I made a commitment that starting in August when they start school, like I'm done with work at 3:00, because I felt like last school year, their grades suffered because I wasn't there. Like, you got to do this, you got to do this, you know?
Yeah.
And so I've made a commitment that I'm just going to come to work earlier and I'm leaving at 3:00. So,
Okay.
You know, it's okay if you, I mean, I have a great staff and Jessica does too. It's okay to not work all the time. And I've had to really, really make myself, you know, the store will be fine if I leave at 3:00. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
So-
It's hard. Gosh, I can't really say that I have any advice. You just have to do what works best for your family. But for me, I'm going to have to make some changes.
Yeah. Well, I think you just said it, kind of giving yourself that grace and space to go, yeah, it's going to be okay if I leave at 3, to have that trust, build that team around you that will allow you to do that. So that's incredible. All right. Well, Jessica, I know you've got a rad 6-year-old, so
Rad and rambunctious.
Yes, wonderful.
Kudos to Brandi, because she has 3 and I can barely handle 1. So I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
But like she said, it comes down to mom guilt. There's a lot of that going on. You just do the best you can to juggle it. Lack of sleep definitely is a thing. So it's, you get the kids down and you work a little bit late at night if that's what needs to be done. So there's a lot of that going on. But I think the biggest thing for me, early on, it was a huge struggle, but I'm getting better and better as time goes on. And I think it's really about building a good team around you. So I have an awesome team who I trust. And so Brandi's right. You don't need to be there all the time. If you're doing things right, you don't need to be there all the time. And the other thing for us is we switched to 4-10. So we work 4 days a week, 10-hour days. And that has been amazing for all of us. Production has increased. I think it works well efficiency wise, but also just for work-life balance for not only myself and my family, but the whole team.
Yeah.
So really just, I think scheduling and finding that good work-life balance and giving yourself some grace to not always be at the shop. And sometimes we all know this, stepping away and working on the business is better than being in the business. And that's kind of been a good thing about having a little one for me. And I'm sure you, Brandi, it does make you get out, and that's where our creative juices start flowing. That's where the relationships start building. So it kind of all comes full circle, truly.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add to that. I have found, we're in a small town. I say small, 50,000 people. And when you're as involved in the community as I am, like everyone knows you. And so letting go of people, but well, why aren't you at work today? Like that guilt too. And I'm like, it doesn't matter to you what I'm doing or where I am. I am still working. I can pull up anything that I need, QuickBooks, all my software, everything from my phone. So there's absolutely no reason why I'm going to allow someone to make me feel guilty for not being in the brick and mortar.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I've struggled with that one for sure.
Good. Well, congrats on being able to move forward on that. I mean, when I heard you say earlier, though, I mean, you are working because you said whenever you're out, you're coming back with an order. So, probably got some orders from some events with the kids and stuff like that, right? So, I think it's awesome that you guys are sharing all that. I mean, it definitely feels and sounds like it is that balance, but I also know that your businesses are a part of who you guys are too. And so it's that piece and you're bringing that with you to your other stuff too. So I think it's pretty incredible that you guys are doing all that. So, all right, well, let's talk about an award. You guys are both 2021 Women in Screen Print Award winners from Screen Printing Magazine. So first off, congratulations and very well deserved. I guess what showed up for me when I was thinking about this was I'd love to know what that award means to you personally. Right? When you were told that you were that won that award, what showed up for you personally? What did that mean to you? So, Brandi, I'll start with you.
Well, first of all, I mean, it's paving the way for my 3 girls, that they can be successful in a male-dominant industry. And, farming and ranching, where I came from, is also a male-dominant industry. And so I've been surrounded by men my whole life. So that's probably the biggest thing, is just showing my girls that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want to do it, with whoever you want. So I had another point, but I can't remember what it was. But that's kind of my main, and that people thought that I was qualified to do this. And, after meeting Jessica and, many others, I'm like, how did I get here? I don't even know what I'm doing. So, but I mean, that's probably my main reason.
Awesome.
Or
awesome.
what it means to me. So.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. How about you, Jessica?
This is a tough one for me because it's almost like initially I'm like, do we really need awards for women? But we do. I think, like Brandi said, it is a male-dominated industry, and I think Screen Printing Mag and Rock is doing a great job bridging that gap and allowing more, I think, respect for women in the industry. And I can say for myself, going to trade shows 8 years ago, it was a little odd. You'd go to a booth and try to buy a piece of equipment, and the guys there, the reps, wouldn't even want to talk to me. Yeah. So they just assume you're not the owner. They really don't give you the time of day. And I will say things have changed significantly over the years. Fast forward 9 years, it's totally different. I walk up to a booth and they treat you with so much respect. And I think you guys, Screen Printing Mag, everybody's had a huge role in that and has really changed the game as far as that goes. So for me, it's more about just recognition that, hey, there are a lot more women in the industry than people realize. And there are a lot of great women leaders in the industry.
Yeah.
And I think it almost gives us more confidence too, because we feel we're earning the respect of some of the men in the industry. So for me, getting that award opened a lot of doors. It got me to meet a lot of women, Brandi, all the other winners, who are awesome resources. Now we can give each other a call like, hey, what do you guys think about this? Let's dive into this data, whatever it is. So that's been an awesome resource. But also for the men in the industry, it's opened a lot of doors. And I made a lot of connections with different men in the industry because of that award. So I think really just that exposure and that level of respect has been awesome. So yeah, just kudos to Screen Printing Mag for taking that on and really kind of bridging that gap. And I think it's just been awesome to see women step up. And I kind of want to say that we need to take a little responsibility too, because I think awards like this give us confidence, help us meet new people, get to another level. And then we go to these trade shows and we have more confidence. So we're stepping into that booth, kind of demanding respect and like, hey, we're here, we're leaders. And I think it goes both ways. It wasn't a lack of respect 8 years ago. I think it's just, it's a bit of an ignorance of, hey, there are some really awesome women leaders in this industry.
Yeah, agreed.
So yeah, I think it's awesome. And I'm kudos to Screen Printing Mag. Hope to see him keep that going.
Yeah.
I feel like Rock has kind of pushed me into that. Not necessarily that I was like, hey, I didn't realize I was in a male dominant industry at the time. And, Rock was kind of like, here, do this, and we need you here, so I feel like Rock's really been instrumental in pushing me towards being a leader in the industry.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah, kudos to them as well, for sure. A couple of comments here real quick while I've got them in front of me. Christine says, love the Women in Screen Printing Awards. I think it's a great program. So glad to see women getting recognized. Keith Burwell added, you ladies are awesome. You have to make family time. Great to hear your decision to leave at 3, Brandi. I have done that very same thing when my kids were younger. So it's excellent. And then let's see here. Christine says, I think women also need to take charge of raising our profiling industry, like Jessica was talking about. We need to nominate each other for awards like this and support each other as we work to raise our profiles. Love that. Good. Excellent. All right. Well, I know Jessica, Brandi, you guys are chomping at the bit here. Let's talk passion projects, right? Being able to give back is not only your communities, but really others in the industry and just more broadly. So tell me what gets you excited? What is that passion project for you? And Jessica, I'll start with you.
Yes, I've been waiting all morning to talk about this, Aaron. For me, it's crazy because much like Brandi, I didn't get into this industry because I was passionate about screen printing or graphic design or any of it. I was completely ignorant, knew nothing about the industry. Like I said, it found me. And so now it's come full circle and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is why I fell into this industry. So once we got established and things were rocking and we had become a pretty successful business, I'm like, there has got to be a way for us to give back in our industry and in our community. Yeah. And I saw the things happening. We all know that textile is a very wasteful industry. We know that we weren't always doing a great job on the environmental front. And so I'm like, gosh, there's got to be a way to give back there. I wanted to pour into people. And I knew I wanted to do something that was faith-based and love-based. And it occurred to me to do a subscription-based t-shirt model. And I'm like, what better way to get a message out? We all know that a t-shirt's a walking billboard. So we can spread messages of love through this t-shirt. And for us, the way we're making an environmental impact is by using All Made exclusively for our t-shirt. So we all know All Made's story. They're doing an incredible job. I'm sure everybody listening to this knows how they've been kind of on the forefront, and they're pushing our industry to be better. I'm so proud of them. And we use the tri-blend. So there's 6 recycled bottles in each t-shirt. Love what they're doing with less water. And then, of course, on the humanitarian front, they're doing an incredible job in Honduras and formerly Haiti, pouring into people and making sure it's dignified wages and dignified work conditions. And we know that's problematic in the past with, some of the big box players. And I actually just returned from a trip from Honduras with the All Made team a few months ago. And it was incredible. It was incredible to see that it's true. These employees are happy. They're being treated well. There's a great community around them. And it was so refreshing to see that
that's awesome.
What we're trying to do is actually being implemented. So very proud to kind of collaborate with All Made and use them exclusively for our subscriptions. And then we also wanted to have a charitable impact. So a portion of each subscription goes towards a charity. So this quarter, for instance, we've moved to a quarterly model. And that kind of goes back to this work-life balancing. It was a monthly subscription, and I just found it was way too stressful trying to come up with logos each month, get it out the door. I mean, it was a lot of work. It was taking a toll a bit on the family. So we've moved to a quarterly subscription model, which is amazing because now we have even more time to pour into that specific charity. So for instance, this quarter, our charity is St. John's Program for Real Change. It's a community for women that were formerly homeless, and they bring them in, they help them recover from abuse, addiction, whatever it is. They get them back on their feet. They get them educated. They get them ready for the workforce. They get their kids in school, all the things, and then get them ready to be released back into society and, be a good member of society. And it's just such a beautiful program. So for us, we're partnering with them. Not only do we get to donate to them monetarily, but we get to be boots on the ground, go out, get volunteers. So some of our team will go out in waves, and we'll try to get people from the Loom community to go out as well and serve lunches, do homework with the kids, throw birthday parties, paint stuff, whatever needs to be done. But the cool thing is we also get to pour into them through our messaging, which this is where it all just is amazing, the impact of a t-shirt. So our logo this month is "Be a lighthouse, not a tugboat." And you guys, if you go on our social media, you'll see what the logo looks like. And that was actually inspired from someone you guys know in the industry, Richard Tilley, King Tilley, Mr. Instagram lately. And we were having a late night conversation about his former struggle with addiction and how he recovered and was thriving. And when he made his comeback, he wanted to help everyone. He's trying to, help everybody get clean and save them. And he was getting so much rejection. He was failing, and he took it so personal. And someone told him, hey, stop being a tugboat. Stop trying to tug these people in and be a lighthouse. Let them come to you. Let them see that hope through you. And it's such a cool message because you can spin it so many ways, whether it's addiction, spirituality, relationships, whatever it is. But the point is for us to all be a lighthouse and just to get good positive messages out there. So I know I'm being long-winded, but with St. John's, it's such a beautiful thing because we had our contact there, talk to the girls on site and show them the logo and ask them, hey, what does this slogan mean to you? And how does this affect you in your journey? And one of the girls said, and I think I wrote it down here, she said, shine bright, keep moving forward, your goals are in sight. So it's just really cool for us to get to go on site there, let them see this messaging and be a light for them and help them stay on track, help them reach their goals. And so for us, it's just so rewarding to have that charitable impact, but also a true impact touching hearts, boots on the ground, touching hearts. And then the last piece of that is to have a spiritual impact. So for me, I'm Christian. I love Jesus. But what I like to say, this is non-religious. I truly believe we all have a higher power, whether it's Buddha, Allah, the universe, Jesus, whatever, all worshiping something. And for me, this is just about being a good human and spreading love. So all our messaging is something positive, impactful. I actually have a little t-shirt to show you guys here for people watching. We wrap them up. They always have a card attached that has either a scripture or a quote on the back that will just be something to lift people up. So the whole point was for people to get a package at their doorstep that made their day, that lifted them up, that inspired them, wanted them to be a better person. So it's cool. It's really cool the impact a t-shirt had. I have people tell me all the time, Jess, when I put on these shirts in the morning, it makes me cognizant of how I'm going to go throughout my day, how I'm going to talk to people, bite my tongue, whatever the case is. And that's really, really cool. So again, it's just a walking billboard. It's our way to give back. And I'm just stoked that we have the resources and the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, that's incredible. All right. Well, Eric actually got the logo, pulled it up. So he's going to share it on screen here for us. There it is.
Cool.
A lighthouse, not a tugboat. And if you'll go over to the LUM, so it's LU movement. There you go. Mm-hmm. And check that out. And yeah, I love it. You can read that on your Instagram. It's LU_movement, correct? For Instagram?
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Excellent. All right. Brandi, what about you? What's the passion project?
Well, that's a hard one to follow because she does so many great things. But a lot of my giving or, helping people is no one knows about. That's my favorite thing, is to surprise someone or do something nice, or even as simple as see somebody in the grocery store and be like, man, I love your hair, or just complimenting people. but I would say, like, as far as giving back and being kind and that kind of thing, that's my favorite thing to do. But my passion really is economic development. And, I was selected for Leadership Oklahoma, which is an organization. You travel the state, you learn about the problems facing the state, whether it be from agriculture to mental health to economic development. Our tribes are, a big thing here, the 5 civilized tribes, and learning about all their issues that they're facing. And we did economic development, and I have an incredible passion to helping kids learn about growing a business, being entrepreneurs, bringing them to my shop, showing them how I started and how I've grown my business and all the things with fostering entrepreneurship. So that's probably my favorite thing to do.
Nice.
But
Wow.
I don't have anything special going on necessarily, but if I could choose something that I just cannot wait to get up in the morning to do, and it's talk to kids about entrepreneurship.
That's awesome. Sounds pretty special to me, Brandi. So
thanks.
Yeah. Wow. You guys are doing some incredible stuff. All right. Well, we're coming down to the end of our time together here. I've got a closing question I'm going to hit you with in just a moment. But before we do that, I want to make sure that everybody gets connected with you guys. Obviously, there's plenty to talk about. You guys bring so much passion, so much love, so much kindness to our industry, and so we need to connect you with more people. So, Brandi, what's the best way for people to connect with you?
Probably email or Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
DowntownThreadsOK.com is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Cool. So DowntownThreadsOK.com.
My email is Brandi with an I at DowntownThreadsOK.com.
All right. Awesome. Downtown Threads. So
Do you want me
Eric
to type
will
that somewhere?
Eric will get it up there. He's good at that stuff. So we'll get that. All right. So Jessica, what about you? Oh, there we go. Sorry, Jessica, hold on one second for me. So DowntownThreadsOK.com. Eric's got it on screen there, and we'll put a link in the show notes as well. Okay, Jessica, how about you?
You can find us at All Quality Graphics on Instagram or Facebook, and then LU_movement on Instagram or Facebook. And the best way to contact me personally would be my email, jessica@allqualitygraphics.com. I'm definitely an email person, not as great on social media.
Same.
And then our website is allqualitygraphics.com.
Nice. Yeah. Good. All right. Well, we got 3 email people here. I like that.
Old school, huh?
We're becoming a dying breed, it feels like
Right.
sometimes, though. All right. Well, that is so awesome. So Eric's got Downtown Threads in the chat, and then we'll get, there's allqualitygraphics.com there on screen, and it'll show up in the chat. And like I said, we'll have it in the show notes as well. So you guys make sure that you're connecting with these 2 amazing people. It will make your life better, I promise you. All right. So here we go. Let's close out. This is kind of the we're in a pinch. So I kind of just put together a hypothetical situation, but I want you guys to think about this. If a young lady who's brand new, right, Brandi, you were talking about educating young people there. So this is a young person that wants to come into our industry. They came into you, but they're in a rush, right? They said, I've only got like 2 minutes at tops, but I need advice. What's the number one piece of advice that you'd have for that person, for that young lady? So Brandi, how would you answer her?
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
I love that.
I mean, seriously. I mean, I met Ryan and Ross at Rock, and they have blown, all the people that I know and have connected with in this industry are because of those 2 guys.
Yeah.
So it's not what you know, it's who you know.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. So get out there and start making connections. I love that.
Relationships.
Brandi, Yep. Awesome. Wow. Brandi, good stuff. Jessica, your turn.
Yeah. Amen to that, Brandi. I would say it's okay to say no, find your niche, and stick with what you're good at, because don't try to be all things to everyone. Stick with what you're good at. I would also say pour into your team and treat them with so much respect and appreciation. And then lastly, give back, do something bigger than yourself.
Awesome. Wow. You guys, all that gold, all that amazing stuff. Anything that we missed at all that you guys need to share before I let you go?
I don't think so. Thank you so much for having us on.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you guys so much for your time. We appreciate you coming and joining us, and looking forward to having future conversations with you. It sounds like I'll probably get to see you guys, meet you guys in person at Printing United. So excited about that. But you guys have awesome Friday and an amazing weekend. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Aaron.
Bye. All right. Wow, you guys. I'm just on a high. I appreciate everybody kind of tuned in and listening in and being a part of that. But all the amazing things that we got from that, and just all the inspiration too. I can't say enough about all the things they said and all the things they shared too. Right, gaining that confidence, getting out there. Wow. Okay. All right, I got to transition. Otherwise, we won't finish this show because I could just go on and on there. So normally at this phase of our show, we would have 5 things, but right now we do not. We don't have one from ourselves because we're waiting for you guys. We're waiting for the regulators. We need you guys to show up. We need you guys to be part of this because here's what 5 things is. 5 things is just what it sounds like. It is 5 simple things that gets a conversation started. It's any topic you want. It can be industry related. It can be not industry related. It can be passion related. It can be anything that you want. So if you'll go to tworegularguys.com/5 things, that's the number 5 things. If you go there, Eric's got it on screen there for us for those tuned in live. And if you go in there, got everything that you need. You can send us an email with what your 5 things are, and we'll read them for you. You can actually record a voice note that then we can play on the show later on. Or you could even pick up your phone, stick the phone in your face and say, here are my 5 things. And it's as simple as that. And then send that over. There's also a form. If you don't even want to bother with email, you can just fill in the form. And you get full credit for the 5 things. We link to your website. So that's a good SEO for you as well. So all good things to be part of 5 things. So I'm excited to see the 5 things that we have coming from you guys very soon. And again, tworegularguys.com/5 things is where you go to kind of get yourself started. And I can't wait to hear what we're going to have from the regulators next week when it comes to 5 things. All right. Cindy says, great show. Thank you. All right. Well, let me share a couple of upcoming things here. And yes, thank you, Eric. In the comments there, you put that as well. We'd love to hear more from you. Get your opportunity to be part of the 5 things at that link. All right. Well, let me share a couple things that are coming up to close out the show. This has been amazing and incredible. I am actually going to go in reverse order here, Eric. Sorry. I'm going to start with you, bud, because as I think it was Barb that mentioned it early on, today is Educational Friday. You've got 2 regular guys here. In just a moment, Eric and I will be on the half. And then in the afternoon, Eric brings, Eric brings the take up. So today is episode 120, need to know basis. Do I need to know embroidery digitizing? Do you really need to know digitizing to be a successful embroiderer? So Eric's going to talk about the spectrum of digitizing involvement and what that means for your shop and your education. If you'll just head over to Eric Campbell, ERICH, Campbell.com, and then click that Take Up tab that's at the top menu there, you'll see the full playlist and you'll be able to tune in live. So again, that's ericcampbell.com. I also want you guys to look for Eric's extended session, which is making small run patches. And that will be coming at the Impressions Expo in Fort Worth, which is not too terribly far away. So it's impressionsexpo.com is where you can find out more information about that. So check that out. And so that's what Eric's got going on currently. And we're glad to have him back. The show was not the same without you, Eric. So appreciate you being here. All right. And then for Terry has got the DTG DTF summer camp. It just makes me think of kids going to camp. And so maybe it'll be a little bit like that. Maybe you'll get popsicles and some fun activities, but it's the DTG DTF summer camp, July 28th. It's at Equipment Zone in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. So if you'll head over to equipmentzone.com to check that one out. And then as far as Terry's classes go, his next complete screen printing business course is happening in Chicago, Illinois at Atlas Screen Supply. And that's going to be August 27th through the 28th. He also will be hosting that same complete screen printing business course at Equipment Zone in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, which is just right outside of New York City. And you can find him there on September 10th through the 11th. And then he will be right back the next weekend in Phoenix, where he lives, at Workhorse Products, doing complete screen printing business course September 17th through the 18th. You can find all of his upcoming events at terrycombs.com. So make sure you're checking that out. So that's what's happening for Terry once he gets back from Graphics Pro Expo. Let's see here. For me, I've got coming up here, I think it's next week, July 28th through the 30th. Yeah, that's next week. I will be presenting at the Condi Virtual Open House. If you'll go to ditrans.com/Condi_VOH 2022, you can register there. And the great part, it's free. And just for registering, you're going to be entered for a chance to win an Epson F570 Pro printer bundle or a Sawgrass SG1000 printer bundle. And they're also giving away a DK14S, a GeoNight heat press. So make sure you get registered there at ditrans.com. Just go to ditrans.com. Up in the top left, you'll see a link for open house. And then I'd really love to have you join me live there on Saturday the 30th. I think it's about midday, about 12:30, if I remember correctly, the timing of it. But I'm going to be presenting the simple act of working on your business. It's one of my favorite topics about business planning and the process and what that's all about. So really using working on your business as a way to overcome overwhelm and just get control of your time and things like that too. So that's what I'll be talking about on the 30th there. Fast forward to September 11th, I'll be participating in an international online small business skills summit as a speaker there. That small business skills summit is bringing you 30 experts over 30 days. If you'll go to osg.link/skills summit, you can check it out there. My session at that particular event will be called Conquering Fear and Thrive. So giving people some techniques to overcome fears and really turn that into the art of success. And then on September 15th, I will be in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Graphics Pro Expo. In fact, the night before, I will be hosting the Start Here Academy. And I get to be the MC and highlight 3 amazing makers and influencers as they share where to start in apparel decorating. In fact, it will be all about kind of just that beginner's mindset. So even if you're not a startup, even if you've been in business for a while, I believe there's going to be great connections to be had. There's going to be great info to be had here because it's going to be about that startup mentality. And I think there's something to be said about that no matter how long you've been in business. So if you'll go to there's a big long link, but I made a short link. It is osg.link/SHA. Thank you for putting that up on screen, Eric. That's where you can get more information about that. September is going to be busy because then I'm heading off to Peachtree City, Georgia for the Sublimation Summit, and we'll get to teach there on the 23rd. And I'm actually taking my dad with me on that trip. We're going to make it a little vacation afterwards because as soon as I'm done teaching on the 23rd, we'll be jumping in the car and heading to Myrtle Beach, North Carolina for Everything Embroidery Market. And on the 24th, I'm going to be presenting 3 topics there. First one's pricing for profit and confidence. The second one is keys to starting a successful product decorating business. The third one is finding your customers to stand out in a crowd. And then after that, my dad and I'll get to have a little vacation. So I'm looking forward to seeing the sights with my dad, who's a history buff. And so that'll be a lot of fun. But Myrtle Beach is awesome. So make sure you get there. You can follow me. Come to Atlanta, and then we'll go to Myrtle Beach. We'll have a little caravan. It'll be awesome. And let's see here. Lastly, the thing that I wanted to share, Printing United, Las Vegas, Nevada, come out October 19th through the 21st. Again, it sounds like Jessica and Brandi are going to be there too. So all the cool people are going to be there. So come join us. It's Las Vegas, and so it'll be fun on top of that, October 19th through the 21st. And all right. Well, I just saw a couple comments come through here. Nikki, thank you for being here. And sorry to hear about yikes. Well, get better. Lots of rest. Okay. Rest, vitamin C, and zinc is what I did when I had COVID. So I don't know. I'm not a doctor. So all right, you guys. Well, that's what we've got for you today. It's been an amazing show. We've come to the close of this show. I really, again, want to thank Jessica and Brandi for their time and all the wonderful information and all their passion that they bring to this industry and inspiration. Wow. Once again. I'd also really want to thank Eric for all the magic that happens behind the scenes. It had been a little while since I did this, and when I was pushing the buttons last week, it was nothing close to what Eric makes happen for us. So we very much appreciate him being here, and we feel it when he's not. Next week, I will be joined by a friend of mine, an industry friend of mine. His name's Tika, and he's doing a lot of different things. And so we're going to talk a little bit about his journey in garment decorating, but we're also going to talk some personal stuff. We're going to get into some personal things. He's got a brand new book out about loss, and I won't give away everything. I want him to share kind of from his heart. But it's going to be a really great show, a great inspirational show. And Tika is a great guy. And so I can't wait to talk to him next week. So without further ado, as Chuck said, I'll see you in 30 minutes over there at the half. But I guess the way to close this out here is I'm Aaron Montgomery, and even sans Terry Combs. Today, we are the two regular guys.
Here we go. We're out.
Awesome.
Thank you for listening to Two Regular Guys. Check out our website at tworegularguys.com. That's the number 2, regularguys.com. You can also interact with us over at our Facebook page, facebook.com/tworegularguys, or send us a tweet, twitter.com/tworegularguys. And we have a YouTube page. You can find all that from our website, tworegularguys.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to spending some time with you again next week.